It's a new month and a new year. Let's see what the tarot holds in store for you. Hi, I'm Dr. Elliot Adam from ElliotOracle.com. I'm also the author of the award-winning Fearless Tarot and the hot-off-the-press, newly released Tarot in Love, Consulting the Cards in Matters of the Heart, which is out this month. I'm so excited. It's book number 2 for me. And at the end of the video, I will talk a little bit more about Tarot in Love, but right now I want to get into the astrological readings for every sign that we're going to go into with the tarot. And this month we're going to do something a little different. So normally every month I pick 2 cards for each sign, what it's best for each sign to focus on for that month, and then also advice from your inner wisdom. But for this New Year's edition, we're also going to add a 3rd card for each astrological sign. And that 3rd card is going to have to do with the most empowering lesson that you're going to want to absorb in 2023. And in the case of a challenging card, don't panic. It's actually going to be the doorway towards your breakthrough. It's actually going to be the thing that really helps you progress. And in the case of a positive card or an uplifting card, I mean, it goes without saying, this is going to be something you're going to want to open your heart to. I'm going to go through each astrological sign, starting with Aries and ending with Pisces. And there's these convenient little timestamps on the bottom of your screen to get right to your sign. And if you want an even more accurate reading, you might also want to listen to the message for your astrological moon sign and rising sign, in addition to your sun sign, which you would normally look at in your horoscope. So let's go right into it. We're going to start with the astrological sign of Aries. The first card we're going to focus on for Aries is what it's best for you to focus on for January 2023. And we get the Temperance card. And the Angel of Temperance is all about replenishment. You can see the angel here pouring 1 full cup of water into an empty cup. And so Aries, this could be a time where you're really needing to replenish that which has been running on empty. It might have also been a really stressful time, and this is going to be a year where you get to really revitalize yourself. You really get to invest in yourself. And so I think this next month, it's important that you are engaging in self-care and also balance. The Angel of Temperance has 1 foot in the stream of water and also 1 foot on the dry land. And this could indicate for Aries that it's important for you to have 1 foot in reality, but also have 1 foot in the realm of your emotions, your spirit, the deeper you. And so this is going to be a time to rebalance, especially as we get into January. The second card for Aries is going to be advice from your inner wisdom for this next month. And we get the 8 of Wands. And the inner wisdom for you, Aries, is saying things are picking up speed. Whenever we see the 8 of Wands, it is such a unique card in the Waite Smith Tarot because it's the only card that does not depict a person or even the symbolic part of a person, like in the case of the 3 of Swords with the heart. And what the 8 of Wands shows is these inanimate objects, 8 sticks, being animate, moving through the air at breakneck speed. And what this can indicate is that there is momentum, motion, but there's a lack of a personal quality to this card. So Aries, I think things are going to be speeding up for you, and it's important not to personalize. It could also be a time when there's some added stress or duties on your shoulders, and even though the 8 of Wands is a positive card, quote unquote, it does lead you toward a positive result. It can be a little stressful. And when we couple that with the Temperance card, again, self-care is going to be the name of the game. And then finally, the 3rd card for Aries is going to be the most empowering lesson that awaits you in 2023. And we got the Moon card. And the Moon is a card of instincts, deeper emotions, deeper feelings. It's telling you that there is something going on beneath the surface for you. And the more you ignore the moon, in Latin, the moon is luna, where we get our word lunatic from in English. It can make you feel a little crazy when you're not tuning in periodically to that deeper, authentic part of yourself. And with that temperance image, even for Aries, I'm just feeling like it's time to replenish that connection with the deeper you. It might be time to face what is authentically going on within. And it might also just be a time where you are listening to the call, listening to your instincts. I feel for Aries, when you trust your instincts, when you make time to connect for them, that's where your breakthrough is going to come through in 2023. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Taurus. So if you're a Taurus or have a lot of Taurus in your chart, this is going to be the message for you for January 2023. And the first card for January is the Ten of Wands. And so for Taurus, it just feels like a lot is on your shoulders. However, always with the Ten of Wands, you can see the figure here. He's just about to cross a finish line. There's a lot on his back. And yet this is also a harvest scene. This is saying that there is something you're gathering, something you're preparing, you're getting ready for. It's also a card of completion and movement forward. And you're going to want to push through your fear that you can't do this or you can't forage ahead. I think you definitely can. The Ten of Wands is a card also of reaping the rewards, reaping the gains for a long effort that you might have already established this last year. And so I just think this is an important time to finish the job. The second card we're going to go into for Taurus is going to be advice from your inner wisdom for January 2023. We get the Ace of Pentacles. And if you look up the Ace of Pentacles in any tarot book or online, it'll often indicate a new opportunity, some sort of a financial windfall, or some sort of a new job or new position that might be opening for you. Always with the Ace of Pentacles, there is a new beginning happening and it affects your security. And most importantly of all, with the Pentacles cards, it also affects your sense of worth and worthiness. And so I think it's going to be an important time for Taurus to really just move ahead on your best opportunities. A golden doorway is going to be opening for you with this new year, and you're going to want to take full advantage of it and step through it. And also for Taurus, if you're confused as to what direction to take or what choice to make, the Ace of Pentacles is telling you to choose the thing that really gets you back in touch with your highest values. And then the third card we're going to go into for Taurus is going to be the great lesson for 2023, what you want to learn or take full advantage of to empower you as we go through this next year. And we got the Wealth card, the Nine of Pentacles. It's such a Taurian card. It's a card of luxury, pleasure, enjoyment of the finer things. And I think what this higher lesson is for Taurus is to raise your standards. Don't accept anything but the best, Taurus, for 2023. If a new opportunity is opening for you, take it. Don't let your fear talk you out of your best opportunity for success this next year. I just think that this is going to be a time of abundance, joy, celebration, but also a sense that your patience is really paying off. So I just feel this is going to be a year where you want to not only raise your standards, but apply them to your best life. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Gemini. So if you're a Gemini or have a lot of Gemini in your chart, the first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for January 2023. And we got the Two of Wands. And on the Two of Wands, we see a lord of a manor. He's got everything he could possibly want. He's got a castle. He's looking over all of his lands. There's this wonderful view. And yet he's holding that globe in his hand. It's almost as if he wants more. He's not quite satisfied with the status quo. And I just feel that for Gemini, this could be a restless time where you want to listen to your inner ambition, your inner fire. You might also want to go towards your best next opportunity. And so for Gemini, this is going to be an important time for you to grow. Wands in the tarot, they're like little tree branches. They got the little leaves springing out of the top of them. And this is a time to branch into new realities and into new beginnings. The advice from your inner wisdom, if you're a Gemini, is the Star card. And the Star is a card of wisdom. It's a deep card. Much like the Aries symbol of temperance, the first card that we explored today, the figure on the Star card also has 1 foot in the pool of water, 1 foot on the dry land. And for Gemini, it is so important this next year that you're not just productive in the practical world and really putting all your focus there. and that you're also not getting lost in the sea of spirituality and inner wisdom and inner journey. You're needing to balance both. You're needing to apply the spiritual to the mundane world, and you're also needing to be very practical when it comes to your own spiritual lessons. The star card is always a card of wisdom and perspective, looking at things from afar. So if things get a bit stressful, the star will advise you to get a bit of distance. And sometimes if we can get far enough from a situation, we can see it again as if for the first time. And so for Gemini, this is going to be a time where you really want to look at things in their proper context and trust that inner wisdom. Wisdom is the name of the game this next year. And also for Gemini, I just feel like there's important connections coming for you whenever we see the star. You may be operating around luminaries in their own right. And then the third card for Gemini is going to be the great lesson for 2023, what you're going to want to fully absorb or learn from in this next year. And we get the Emperor card. The Emperor is telling you to be assertive. How interesting for Gemini, the first card is the Two of Wands with that figure that's holding the globe, and here the Emperor is also holding the orb. There is something in the world that is calling Gemini out into it. This is going to be a time to be assertive, Gemini, and to really take all that spiritual work that you might have been working on for 2022 and applying it in the real world in 2023. It's time to walk your talk and take action and to assert your right to be. And the Emperor is also just a card of establishing a firm foundation and bringing security to things. So I just think that this is a really solid year for Gemini. Next, let's go into the astrological sign of Cancer. So if you're a Cancer or have a lot of Cancer in your chart, the first card we're going to explore is where it's best to place your focus this next month of January. And you got the Sun, the best card in the deck, traditionally speaking. And the Sun is saying, look on the bright side of things. Also, Cancer, don't despair. Something that might feel like an ending or a challenge is actually the dawning of a new day. And it's so important that you're really looking at the bright side of things. Look at the glass as half full, not half empty. The Sun is a promise that every day we get a chance to begin anew. And if we can let go of our old baggage from the past or let go of anything that's really keeping us restricted and instead focus on where the energy is working in our life and build on that, well, then you're going to see a breakthrough happen for you. So I just feel like there is a challenge even in the Sun for Cancer where, it may be a time to get out of some of the challenging feelings of the past and really pivot toward what's working, what looks good, and look toward those solutions because that's going to open doorways for you. Second card for Cancer is going to be advice from their inner wisdom for this next month. And we got the Nine of Swords. And how interesting, traditionally the Sun is called the best card of the deck. And in the case of the Nine of Swords, that is called sometimes the worst card of the deck by some writers. And the Nine of Swords says that, challenging things might be on your plate this next month, not because the worst things are about to happen to you. The figure on the Nine of Swords is stressed out. He's worried. He's panicking. He's in his head. And he is trapped by his shadow. He's thinking in cases of worst case scenarios. And he's not able to see in perspective what's happening. And I really feel for Cancer that this is a year where you can look at the best of things or the worst of things. And there are these two polarities going on here. The Nine of Swords reminds you that whatever's going on in your mind, there is a solution for that. And the way to get that solution is not to isolate. The Sun card shows the baby riding the horse, which can represent magical assistance. That could represent people who are in the know. They have the answer. They know the way forward for you. And yet the Nine of Swords shows someone who's suffering because they're isolated. They're trapped in their own shadow. And so for Cancer, it's going to be so important for you to seek the support you're needing and to realize that what's going on in your head or in your feelings may not reflect accurately what's actually happening. You might want to get a second opinion. And then the big lesson for Cancer for 2023, the thing you're going to benefit most from, what's your opportunity, is actually the Seven of Cups, which is the perfect card to couple with the previous two. The Seven of Cups is a card of illusion, dreams, daydream, imagination, getting caught in that imagination. It's not a card of reality. And what I'm feeling as well, with the Seven of Cups, you see the objects coming out of the cups. Some of them are wonderful. Some of them are scary. And that's sort of how Cancer is looking as we're starting out this year. You're needing to differentiate between what's the illusion and what's the reality. And if you're having trouble discerning that for yourself, it could be time to talk to someone you really trust and get that added extra second opinion to really look at things a little bit more practically. But I just think for Cancer, it's an important time not to get swept up into your hopes and your fears and your illusions, but instead to come back down to the middle path. You don't want to be on the extreme of hyper-toxic positivity, and you also just don't want to be playing toxic negative with the Nine of Swords. You're needing to really get out of the illusion and look at what's working. Build on that, and you will see the breakthrough. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Leo. So if you're a Leo or have a lot of Leo in your chart, the first card we're going to go into is where it's best to place your focus for January. We actually get the Three of Wands. And I love the Three of Wands because it shows this figure, he's looking out over the ocean at new lands, new opportunities. And the waters he's looking over are glowing orange from sunrise or sunset. And what this means for Leo is that the sun is setting on one aspect of your life, but it's also rising on the next. And just like that open landscape in front of the person on the Three of Wands, so too for Leo, this is going to be an important time when your future is wide open and waiting. There's opportunities. The way you begin this year is going to be very different from how you end it. And I feel like there's positive opportunities for growth, ambition, and also realizing and manifesting some of your greatest dreams. The important thing with the Three of Wands is to keep an open mind. That sometimes we can do the go-to of the negative, worst case scenario and think, well, that's more likely. The Three of Wands really challenges us to have an open mind, to think that maybe the possibility of something good may still come, and also to really train our focus toward what's being born anew in our life. The advice from your inner wisdom, if you're a Leo for January, is actually the Death card. And this is a card of letting go, endings, transitions, movement, and change. It's very interesting, both of these cards, the Three of Wands and the Death card, have something in common because they imply that sunrise and sunset. Always with the Death card, there is that sun that's rising over the horizon. As the sun sets here, so too it rises there. And in our lives, when the sun sets on one aspect of our life, it's also rising on another aspect of our life. Death is always followed by the rebirth symbolism. And so with death, this is a time to accept the change. And yes, the Death card can be really scary for people. Number one, it's called death, and people, think the worst case scenario there. But what death is, like any tarot card, is a symbol. It's usually not literal. Sometimes it can be, but not mostly. And the Death card could be telling you symbolically that there is a permanent change. That might be what's so frightening, that, transitioning through this means that something's going to end. It's going to change altogether. Life is going to be different as you know it. And yet there's always that opportunity for that new beginning, for that rebirth. And you don't have the rebirth, you don't have the phoenix moment of revitalization without the death, without the ending first. And so for Leo, I feel like this is a kind of a bittersweet year. There is the sense that there's this open possibility for you, there's this success, but there's also something you're saying goodbye to. There's something you're coming full circle with. And yet it's meant to be. Whenever we see the Death card, this is a spiritual transformation. It is something that you are down here to learn and transition through. And so it's important that you're walking forward courageously. And the biggest lesson for Leo, the golden nugget that you're going to be learning from this next year of 2023, is the Justice card. The truth shall set you free when we see Lady Justice. She is the archetype of honesty. She's telling you that if you're looking for balance and serenity and feeling like things are calm again in your life, the quickest route to that is by being honest with yourself and assertive and direct with others. And Lady Justice isn't cruel. Assertive doesn't mean just being bluntly mean to other people or just flatly telling somebody something without any compassion at all. Justice is fair-minded, but she is honest. She is clear. And so I think for Leo, this is going to be a year where you're really clearing up any murkiness or uncertainty, and you're also really getting honest with yourself. What do you want for your life? What is your best balanced life going to entail? This is going to be the year where you really want to open yourself up to it. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Virgo. So if you're a Virgo or have a lot of Virgo in your chart, the first card we're going to go into is where it's best to place your focus for January 2023. And we got the Two of Pentacles. And this card shows the juggler. There's these wavy waters behind him. And this is indicating that the year is starting out for Virgo with life sending you some waves. There's unpredictability, unexpected events happening. And like the boats in the background, Virgo, you just want to glide over those waves. You don't want to fight them. Don't fight the waves, you're going to lose. You want to take the advice of the juggler in the front. You can see he's got this almost elastic quality, as if he's made out of rubber. His head is stretched out, and he's got this funny dance going on. And even the infinity symbol that is binding the two coins he's juggling together kind of looks like a rubber band a little bit. And so this is going to be a time, Virgo, where you want to stretch yourself. You want to adapt, and you want to really walk into this new year without fixed expectations. Get this needs to be like this out of your vocabulary. It's not going to be like that. Life is what happens when you're busy making other plans. And I just think that there's going to be some divine detours on the way for Virgo. And you don't want to shake your fist at it and curse the universe for sending it your way. You might find that this eventually becomes something very lucky for you. Also, Two of Pentacles on a very traditional level could just indicate a juggling of finances. So in January, Virgo, you want to really be careful with your budget. Second card is going to be advice from your inner wisdom if you're a Virgo for January, and we get the Eight of Cups. And the Eight of Cups shows a figure who's reminiscent of the Hermit. He's got the staff in hand and the cloak, and he's on the solitary journey. He's going toward the realm of water and grottos. And the Eight of Cups is all about really reaccessing your deeper feelings, your emotions. It's so similar to the moon card in the tarot as well. In fact, there's a moon on the card. In the eclipse, the moon is blocking out the sun. The moon represents our inner life, our authentic self, our deeper needs. The sun's our image, how people see us. And I just feel like you're going to find that this next month is unpredictable and frustrating if you're just concerned with your image, Virgo. You want to really get real. You want to go into the deeper you and really access that inner authentic part of yourself. That is going to be what really leads towards your breakthrough. And you want to listen to those deeper feelings and trust your inner guidance. That's also going to be very helpful for you. So this fluidity is kind of binding these two cards together. The water on the Eight of Cups, the wavy waters of the Two of Pentacles. Like water, Virgo, choose the smoothest course. Just go with the flow. Don't fight the waves. And the big lesson for Virgo for 2023 is going to be the Page of Wands. And I've said it before, whenever I see this card, I think of the word talent. And so there's opportunity, optimism, but also the development of a talent, something that you're good at, something that you're skilled in. The Page of Wands can also indicate that this is a year where you really want to humbly acknowledge the areas of which you're still growing in. The Page of Wands is a lot shorter than the wand that's in front of him. It's like a measuring rod, and he hasn't quite lived up to it 100% yet. But he's optimistic. He's still growing. He's also a card that shares a lot in common with the Fool card. He's got the red plume in his cap. And both the Fool and the Page of Wands look upward. So again, Virgo, your optimism is going to be your greatest resiliency. Your sense of humor, your talent, that's going to help you overcome any waves that are coming your way. And you want to listen to that deeper inner self. Don't stuff it down and tell it to be quiet as you make it do something it doesn't want to do. You really want to listen to that inner voice. And now let's go into the astrological sign of Libra. So if you're a Libra or have a lot of Libra in your chart, these cards are going to be significant for you for 2023. And the first card is where it's best to place your focus, Libra, for January, and we got the Six of Swords. And this is a card of transition and movement. The Six of Swords is a card of change in the tarot, but for me, it's the benevolent change card. It's as simple as getting in the boat and going with the flow. There's a natural current running through your life this year, Libra, and you're just going to want to trust it and let it take you to the opposite shore, to new lands. Sometimes the Six of Swords is actually associated with moving or travel or transition, so those things could bode really well for you as well. But the Six of Swords for Libra, I think, is just saying cooperate with the change, go with the flow. If you're confused as to what actions to take, go with the current. There is this natural current flowing through your life, and it will guide you towards safe harbor. The advice from your inner wisdom, if you're a Libra, for January 2023, is actually the Seven of Wands reversed. And this card can remind you that it's not you against the world. This card can sometimes indicate that you're isolating too much, trying to handle things too much on your own. This card can also indicate that you may be tempted not to take the high road this next month. It might be a time when you're just getting in your feelings too much or getting frustrated. There's a bit of a grievance with the Seven of Wands reversed. And yet, this card, upright or reversed, does challenge you to take the high road. Don't struggle against things so much. When I look at Seven of Wands reversed next to the Six of Swords for Libra, I really feel like all that inner turmoil or frustration or maybe even worrying about the hows. How is this going to happen? How is this all going to work out in the end? Maybe you need to get rid of that. I think with the Seven of Wands reversed, it may be time to trust. Also, upright or reversed, the Seven of Wands depicts a figure who's wearing two different shoes. And this indicates that he walks in his own shoes. He's a nonconformist. He does his own thing. So for Libra, this might be a year, and especially a month, where you're needing to go your own road and believe it's right, despite opposition, despite what you're hearing from others. It's time to go that unique way. But do it in a classy way when we see the Seven of Wands reversed. Maintain your dignity. And the big lesson, the overarching lesson for 2023 for Libra, this is where your breakthrough is going to await, is actually the Ace of Wands. And the Ace of Wands is indicating that a magic wand is being handed to you this year, Libra. The wand is going to allow you to transform everything in your life. The old ruined tower in the background of the Ace of Wands can indicate that old ideas, things that you've abandoned or left behind, need to be abandoned, need to be left behind. And now it's time to follow your bliss, follow your inspiration. The Ace of Wands is a magic wand, and just like the magic wands in the fairy tale, the Ace of Wands has a bit of a time limit. Just like with Cinderella, she's got till midnight to make her dream come true, otherwise her carriage becomes a pumpkin again. Same for you, Libra. There's a sense of urgency this next year. Creative energy is at an all-time high. It's going to be extremely productive for you, but you're going to want to follow that momentum. And finally, if Libra, you've been feeling uninspired last year or even in the last couple of years, Ace of Wands could indicate that a fresh breeze is blowing through your life and new beginnings are assured. And so I feel like there's excitement and revitalization for you, and it just feels like magic to me. Next, let's go into the astrological sign of Scorpio. So if you're a Scorpio or have a lot of Scorpio in your chart, the first card for you is going to be where it's best to place your focus for January 2023. And we got the King of Pentacles. He is a card of rewards for hard work. He's also a very practical card. He could indicate that this is a good month to put your focus on your long-term work plans, things that are going to bring stability or security for you in the long term. The King of Pentacles is also a good steward for the vineyards of grapes that he grows, ensuring that those are the sweetest grapes and not the grapes of wrath. This could be a time when you're being very mindful, Scorpio, of what kind of energy you're infusing into your daily tasks. It might also be time to be patient. Things are actually growing much better than you might think. And there is a sense that there's a reward coming for you, a reward for your efforts. So don't feel like your efforts are ever a waste of time, because it really looks like this is the most positive time to really cultivate those goals and that you really will reap the reward. The advice from your inner wisdom, if you're a Scorpio for January 2023, is the Two of Cups. This is a card of connection, love sometimes even. You know, the Two of Cups is a card of partnerships that are meant to be. It could indicate cooperation, working well with others. It's the union of opposites. And whether this is a romantic card, talking about a romantic relationship or a partnership that you need to work more closely with or compromise more with, or maybe you're both taking some responsibilities off of the plate of the other person and really reinforcing their weaknesses. The Two of Cups is not only restricted to lovey-dovey relationships. It also has to do with business partnerships, friendships, connection. But I feel for Scorpio that it's when you connect, that's where the breakthroughs are going to happen for you this next month. Don't try to do everything alone. It might be a time to rely on a little bit of help from your friends. And then finally, we're going to go into the major overarching lesson for Scorpio, your big breakthrough lesson, the thing that you're going to want to learn for 2023. And we actually get the Six of Pentacles. And this is a card of generosity and support. It's a card of giving help when it's necessary to. The figure on the Six of Pentacles is giving coins to the poor. He knows he's never going to get that money back. And yet he's also holding the scales, which can be a symbol for karma. That which we put out there is also what we get. And so it's so important for Scorpio to be really mindful, what energy am I putting out there? Because we never know when we're entertaining angels unaware. Also, the Six of Pentacles can conversely represent a time where Scorpio also needs to know when it's appropriate for them to accept help. So it's not just a card of giving, it's also a card of receiving. And I think you're going to want those two things to balance out, Scorpio, for this next year. Know the balance. Know when you've been giving too much and retract a bit, and know when you need to receive, when you need to be open to getting something. And now we're going to go into the astrological sign of Sagittarius. So if you are a Sagittarius or have a lot of Sagittarius in your chart, the first card is where it's best to place your focus for January 2023. We actually get the 10 of Cups reversed. Now, upright or reversed, much like the sun, for me, the 10 of Cups is a positive card. It's a card of happy endings. In the case of the 10 of Cups reversed, it can indicate a time where now you're needing to cooperate with others, maybe repair some damage that's been done to some relationships, and to really turn a corner. The rainbow that once appeared at the top of the card is now at the bottom when the 10 of Cups is reversed. And rainbows represent color, and color is loaded with symbolism. In fact, it affects our moods so much. And this might be a time where you really want to be mindful of your environment, Sagittarius, or the colors you're wearing, how that's affecting your mood, or even what you're declaring about yourself by the colors you wear, by what you're showing. This could also just be a time when you really are going to see signs or signals or symbols coming through flashes of color in your own life. Also, that 10 of Cups could indicate that you're almost at this happy ending, this sense of resolution that's coming. And it might have to do with family. And so I think prioritizing family, prioritizing those tender relationships, and really bringing harmony back to areas that might have been deficient in them up until now is going to be so important as we're starting this new year out. The advice from your inner wisdom, if you're a Sagittarius, is actually for January the Devil card. And before you freak out, everybody's got an angel on their shoulder and everyone's got a devil on their shoulder. Everyone's got that positive voice of light and love, and everyone's got that other voice that makes you feel scared, stuck, or limited. For January, there is a bit of temptation for Sagittarius to listen to the shadow and get stuck in it. So this is going to be a time when you want to be especially full of that self-control and that resolve to really get your projects done, or to really focus on cultivating or manifesting your best life. It might also be a time when you have to drown out the voice of other people or your own shadow that's trying to convince you to stay stuck or scared or limited. The Devil card shows these two figures who are chained to his throne, and yet the chains they wear are loose. They can slip out of them whenever they want to. And so I just feel for Sagittarius in this month of January, don't get hooked. Don't decide to be trapped or in bondage to something that's been making you feel limited, scared, or stuck before now. It's important that you're really standing up to your shadow, your inner saboteur, and you're asserting yourself and really reclaiming harmony in those relationships. And also, the Devil card can just say, don't be tempted to lie, to paper over things, to cover things up that you might be really feeling. It might be time to be very honest or direct about a challenge or a struggle that you're going through. And then finally, the overarching lesson for 2023 for Sagittarius is actually the King of Cups. And the King of Cups is telling you that your feelings are fuel, Sagittarius. They're totally getting you to your destination. And what your feelings are infused with are really going to be the deciding factors of what the destination is going to be for you. Traditionally, the King of Cups is associated with the astrological sign of Cancer, which has all to do with the house, the home. And so this could be a time when you're really focusing on creating a firm, stable base of operations in your home or in issues surrounding the home. Finally, the King of Cups is mature. He is the governor of the cup suit, the governor of all emotions and feelings, and he handles them with maturity. He's seated on a stone platform amidst these crashing waves. And this is indicating that this is going to be a sensitive year for you, Sagittarius. There's a lot of waves coming your way. There's a lot of emotional pulling going on back and forth. And yet you're needing to stay solid and grounded and stay above your feelings, much like the King of Cups. Whenever I see this card, I think of the word anchored. The King of Cups is anchored in his identity, in his best self. And so I think for Sagittarius, this is going to be a year where you want to stay anchored in what your destiny is and not get swept up into the passing, fleeting feelings that might be swirling around you at this time. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Capricorn. So if you're a Capricorn or have a lot of Capricorn in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for January 2023. And we got the Seven of Pentacles, which is a very Capricornian card. It shows that figure hard at work in his garden. He's growing this money bush or this money tree, and it's not quite ready for harvest yet. And yet he's satisfied with his work. He's taking a break. He's observing things. Likewise for you, Capricorn, you've planted all the seeds, and now all you have to do is monitor what you've already planted and let it grow organically. This isn't the time to reinvent the wheel. It's time instead to follow through with what's been successful up until now. And so the Seven of Pentacles is a card of patience, but also rewards for those patience. And I think that there is this positive, beneficial Saturn-like quality to the Seven of Pentacles, which is saying that your hard work is going to pay off. You've done all the heavy lifting, and now you're almost through. The advice from your inner wisdom, if you're a Capricorn for January, is actually the Judgment card. And this indicates that a rebirth is assured. Renewal is happening. Like the phoenix, you're going to be rising out of the ashes again, especially when you listen to your inner wisdom. The angel on the Judgment card blows the trumpet, and he wakes all the dead up, and they rise again. And what this is a symbol for is that the dead parts of you, Capricorn, are stirring back to life. It might also be time to wake up, to stop sleepwalking through life, to stop walking like the dead through all of your activities. Patience doesn't mean being bored or not really being productive in some way that still feels revitalizing to you. And I just feel like with all that practical aspect for Capricorn, it's important that you're investing in awakening your spirit. Be aware, be alert, look around you at all the things that you now have that you once so desperately wanted. It's so important that you're acknowledging with gratitude those things that are fully being manifested right now. But I just feel like this is going to be the year for Capricorn to wake up, to reawaken, and to go through that rebirth. The overarching lesson for Capricorn, the big thing that they're going to want to focus on for 2023 is another very Capricornian card in the Eight of Pentacles. It is the work card. It shows the figure who's in the studio, the craftsman, hammering away at his chisel. And the repeated blows of the hammer can symbolize consistency for Capricorn. So for you, Capricorn, this next year of 2023, your breakthrough is going to come from being consistent, but also being consistently awake this next year, being alert, really soaking in the present moment, being vibrant and alive. There's productivity left and right with the 7 and 8 of Pentacles for you. I think this is going to be a profitable year. It's also going to be a year that you're really bringing security to yourself, but we're also feeling that this is going to be a time when you just want to be consistent. You just want to show up consistently every day until the job is done. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Aquarius. So if you're an Aquarius or have a lot of Aquarius in your chart, this is going to be your message. And first card for Aquarius is where it's best to place your focus in January. We got the Nine of Wands. And this is a card of resiliency. You can see the figure here. He's got a bandage on his head. It's like life has bumped and bruised him quite a bit, and yet he's still standing. And so too for you, Aquarius, this last year might have felt like you've been through the ringer. You might have felt like life has beat you up a little bit, and yet you're still standing. You're resilient. This could be a time to establish boundaries. The figure on this card has gained the 9 wands, and with 8 of them, he's built a fence. And the fence is a symbol for boundaries, standing up for yourself. Maybe there is a sense for Aquarius that you need to learn from the wounds of 2022. What brought you pain or what hurt you? And now it's time for 2023 to establish the boundaries around you that are going to prevent those wounds from happening again. Advice from your inner wisdom, if you're an Aquarius for January, is the Queen of Cups. And she's telling you to listen to your feelings. And of all the astrological signs in, Western astrology, I find that Aquarius sometimes has the hardest time connecting with their feelings. They're very good at detaching. They can get in their heads when they need to. And yet the Queen of Cups is telling you the importance of actually feeling your life. Not just the positive things, everything. It's what gives your life dimension and meaning. This might be a time to be present throughout this next month where you're really alert and aware, Aquarius, of what's happening around you. But you're needing to not just be up in your head, you're needing to be in your heart as well. Follow your heart, follow your feelings, trust those instincts. Maybe some of the wounds that were gained on the Nine of Wands card could be from not listening to feelings, not listening to your inner self. So I think with that gentle Queen of Cups symbolism, the importance of listening to your feelings can't be understated for Aquarius this next month. And the overarching lesson for you, Aquarius, for 2023, the thing that leads towards your breakthrough is the King of Wands, the King of the Wands suit. He is the survivor of the tarot. For me, he's the self-made king. I like to imagine that he wasn't born royal. He was a soldier and made his way through the ranks. He's got the humble, lowly lizard next to him, indicating that he's really coming from nothing. And yet, don't underestimate the King of Wands. He really is able to persevere. Much like that Nine of Wands energy, too, the King of Wands for Aquarius this next year is saying, don't give up. Never give up. And don't let the highs be too high or the lows be too low. That lizard could really indicate you want to moderate your body temperature, your emotional temperature, not let your feelings run too hot and not to get too cold or isolated, but find that sweet, warm middle spot. And then the overarching lesson, I think, for Aquarius this next year, it was the King of Wands. So now we're going to go into Pisces. Sorry, it's been a lot of signs here. So Pisces, final lessons for you. First card for Pisces is where it's best to place your focus for January 2023. And we actually get the Nine of Cups. And for you, Pisces, it looks like you've set the table for your future success. And now you need to be excited because the banquet is coming. The Nine of Cups is a card of wishes coming true and good luck. And it reminds us that good luck is when preparation meets opportunity. So what you're going to want to do is set the table, act as if, get all your ducks in a row, really establish things for yourself to be successful for the long term. And then take your seat at the table. Enjoy the rewards that are coming your way. The advice from your inner wisdom for January 2023, if you're a Pisces, is the Empress card. And of all the cards in the tarot, the Empress is my favorite. For me, she's the mother goddess. And whenever I see her card, I just hear her voice in my ear saying, it's all going to be okay. It's all working out. It's all growing just as it's meant to. The Empress doesn't struggle or strive or push for things to happen. She sits regally in her garden. She sits back. She lets that abundance come to her because she is the goddess of nature. She trusts nature. And nature leads the way. It leads us toward our growth. It really helps things blossom. And so for you, for the Empress card coming up for you this next month, I really think it's important that you're sitting back and just letting things grow. Don't control them. Don't freak out about them. Just allow them. And then finally, the last card for Pisces is the overarching lesson for you for 2023, the big breakthrough, the thing that you're going to want to learn from. We got the Magician card. Powerful cards for Pisces for 2023. The Magician is the personification for the power of your thoughts. And your thoughts are like magic spells, Pisces. They totally go out into the world and they create the reality you're experiencing. And the wonderful thing about the Magician is if you don't like what you're seeing in your life, you can change it. But you have to change what you're constantly focusing on, because that's the thing that you're inviting in. And so this could be a time to be very proactive and mindful about where are your thoughts dwelling. It might be time to really channel those thoughts and shift gears and put those thoughts toward things that empower you, make you stronger, instead of that disempower you or make you feel limited or scared. And finally, the Magician is numbered 1, really indicating his independence. And so for Pisces, I think that this is going to be a year where you're also very independent. You're staking your claim and you're really putting your mind in towards some sort of positive new beginnings that you're just starting to manifest. And that is this month's tarot reading for all the astrological signs, and also the special card at the end for each sign for a lesson that you might be learning for 2023. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, my new book, Tarot in Love, Consulting the Cards and Matters of the Heart, is now out from Llewellyn Books, and it is book number 2 for me. And it's a deep dive into relationship readings. And what it will really show you is not only insights into other people, how they might be feeling, what you might be experiencing in your own personal relationships with others, but it also helps you understand yourself, what the tarot might have to say about the different personalities that color your life. And so if you're an experienced tarot reader and you want a little bit more of a nuanced view about how to interpret some of the cards, especially when they deal with personalities, do check out Tarot in Love. It is now available this month. It's hitting shelves everywhere, and I appreciate the kind support. And if you do enjoy the book, please do me the good service of writing a kind review wherever you got the book. It really helps the book get out there, and it also supports my work. And in the background of my mind, I'm starting to work on book number 3. So we'll have a little trilogy going on later on. But for now, do check out Tarot in Love. And if you want to get in touch with me, you can always visit me at elliotoracle.com and schedule a one-on-one reading with me there. I also have signed books available there, and I can send those out with a special message and a special card picked for you. And you can also see me on my social media, especially Instagram at Elliot Oracle. So I do hope that you have a wonderful January, and most importantly of all, I do hope that you have a happy 2023. I think that this is going to be a marvelous year of rebirth and new beginnings for so many of us, and so I do wish all the best abundance and opportunity for you this next year. So do take care.